Therefore, we must give the more earnest heed to the things we have heard, lest we drift away. Hebrews 2, verse 1. This is the first in a series of warnings in the epistle to the Hebrews. In Hebrews 1:1, we read that God spake in times past unto the fathers by the prophets. In verse 2, we learn that the same God hath in those last days spoken unto us by his Son. What did God say through the prophets and through his Son? It was the message of salvation, of forgiveness of sins, of the love of God, and the lordship of Christ. The message we call the gospel. In view of what God had said through the prophets and through his Son, the warning of our text takes on added meaning. Therefore, we ought to give the more earnest heed to the things which we have heard. God has spoken, we ought to listen carefully. We should neither neglect or disregard what we have heard. The peril of failing to respond to the things we have heard is made more vivid by the imagery or figure of speech, lest you slip away or drift away. The picture is that of a ship that a contrary wind causes to drift past its harbor so that it's prevented from reaching its destination. A strong current or wind was threatening to make these Jewish Christians drift away from their harbor of salvation. This figure of speech was especially apt in the days of sailing vessels, but the meaning is still clear to us today. Drifting in this text does not picture a mere small boat lazily carried with the current toward the brink of a waterfall, or a craft bobbing about on the water, but instead a boat that's being diverted from its destination by contrary winds. How sobering is this text? We have heard a message that has made our duty abundantly clear. We understand the issues and the final results, but there are constant counter-influences or contrary winds that tend to divert us from our course. Materialism, secularism, selfishness, laziness, and many, many others. The warning of this text is not to allow these contrary winds to cause us to miss our destination. And as always, think on these things.